Hey Ari. So I wanted to basically write everything down. That way, it's a little easier for you to inquire about, and that way you can see, kind of what's going on with the nails and everything like that. So I drew out, you know, never mind my chicken scratch. But anyways, I drew out the structure for the most part. Roughly. I'm no artist, nor am I an architect. So there's the long wall, which obviously are the long sections of the shed, and then um, there is the short walls, which are the ends. There's even the short wall with the door, which is obviously the short wall with the door. Um, this, and then your trusses for your roof, and then this is the sheathing for the roof itself. So on top of the roof, if you're looking down on top of this roof, this would be the sheathing right here. And then these right here would be your trusses, which would be these. And so, um, what I came out with was, and so here's my nail pattern. So each one of these dots represents a nail, you know, and then there's other nails that I don't have marked out clearly, but you kind of do, like with these dots real fast, but you can take that dot and just stamp it onto wherever, but I'll explain that more. So, um, So I'll start with just the trusses. And this is for the 2 and 3/8. This is for the nails that I need right now. So the 2 and 3/8 ones, the shorter ones. Um, and so this is a truss. The trusses are made with these gussets right here. These are pieces of plywood. And so in each one of these pieces, there'll be 4 here, 4 here, 6 and 6. So that makes a total of 20 of those nails. Now we have 11 trusses. So that is 220 just right there alone. And then we have the short wall, okay? And on the short wall, we have 14 on the top, 14 on the bottom. And remember, this is approximate as well. And then on each stud, we would have 11, or 11, yeah, 11. And then on the corners, there's actually, it's doubled up. So you have 11 on each stud right here, but on the corners, you would have like 22 or 23 roughly. Okay. And then so each short wall, I believe, came out to, this is revised, so yeah, 138. So 138 each short wall. So both walls, 276. And then the long walls will have 20 nails for the top, 20 nails for the bottom. Same thing on the corners, it will be doubled up. And then this actually, so these blue lines represent also additional studs that I had to put in as well. So you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 2x4s there. And times 11, that was 165. And then you have the top and the bottom, that's another 20 times 2, which is 40. And then the 22, that's for the additional ones on the corner. So that's 227 each long wall. So that's 454 roughly for the long walls total. And then so what I ended up coming up with was okay, 370. And so these numbers ended up getting revised as well. So these aren't, absolute numbers. I did this and then I would go back and go, oh, that's right. I remember now. I had to put more nails here and more nails there, whatever. And so just of the 2 and 3/8 alone, Now again, this number again got revised. So it was 370, 276, 438, 220, which then equaled 1304. But that was a hypothetical number because I still hadn't done the roof sheathing yet. So the roof sheathing is a whole other. The roof sheathing. So on the roofing, it'd be 73 per sheet. Or for easy math, I just said 75. But again, that hasn't been done yet. So then I ended up subtracting that back out. I've done some, there's probably like 50 nails up there, but I've done some, not all. So anyways, and so once I subtracted it, it was 900, but then after a revision, after going through and really thinking about, okay, where else did I stick nails in, I think my total came out to 1,030, I think it was, or something like that. Yeah, 1,030. Okay, so 1,030. Yeah, 4,220, 220, and 80. 1,030. So right now, currently, in the shed right now, there has been 1,030 nails used of the 2 3/8, and I still require. And so what I ended up coming up with is, so here's roughly again the approximate totals as far as what nails are needed. So, and the ones you bought were the 3 1/4. Those are the longer ones, and I'll get into that in a second. But the 2 3/8 ones, those have not been purchased. I've been using my own inventory, and I just did that because I didn't want to wait. I wanted to get it going, and so yeah, and I just figured, it's obvious that obviously the stuff's being held on by something. What could it be? And then I would explain that later on. But anyways, 2 3/8 nails. So what I've come up with is that approximately 1,600 of these are needed to build that size shed. Okay, and again, right now, currently, there's about 1,030 that have already been sunk in there. So I still need 570 more nails. And then of the 3 1/4, for the total structure, 750 are required. And right now, currently, I have sunk in. And so so you did purchase those, but prior to that, I had already started to sink my nails in there. And I think I ended up using, what did I come up with? It was like 300 or 400 nails or something like that. Because it's basically, so for the long ones, it's on top and bottom of each stud. So you have 2 on every stud on the bottom, 2 on the top, every one. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 times 2. That's 30, and then so each long wall, 60 for each long wall. So 60 of them for each long walls. That's 120. And then the fascia board. So the fascia on the front and the gable ends. Well, they're just the fascia boards on the long side. That's 52 of those for both long sides of the fascia. And then attaching the actual corners of the walls together. That's about 15 nails a corner. So that turns out to be 60. So this is the 3 1/4 estimate. And then blocking on the gable ends, that's about 52. And then and so you've purchased one box of the 3 1/4, which there's 1,000 nails in there. And then you purchased a box of plastic caps, which that's going to be for the roofing paper later on. and one package of the 1 1/4 brads, and that's for the trim. That's for once I do the trim. Those are little brad nails. Those are the only nails that you have purchased. I think there was another small little box there, some sort of finished nails, but it was a little tiny box. And if you think about it, that little tiny box really isn't going to do. And again, it's my bad for not really specifying exactly, what I needed and how much. That is my bad. And so yeah. So then, anyways, and then yeah. So for the roof sheathing, obviously, I will need 73. We'll just say 75 for easy math. There's roughly there's going to be 6 sheets needed. Now I know you bought 8, and so the other 2 will be for the next shed. And as far as the roofing nails go, the roofing nails, just so you know here, roofing nails, coil nails. Okay, so for the coil nails, it takes 5 per shingle. Okay, and there's 33 shingles per square, which is 165 nails per square. And your roof on top of there is gonna be slightly under 2 squares. So that's why I just said 165 times 2. That's 330. Then your starter shingle, that's 60 and 90. That's basically both long and short sides. So that's 150. And then your ridge caps, about another. This is an approximate number, and this is an approximate number. About ridge caps, about another 100. So, and then your drip edge. So of the coil nails, of those small coil nails, you'll need about 780 of those. And I know that they come in a 7200 pack. So what I wanted to do is, I know you don't need all those. I will buy 7/8 of that package, so that way you're not eating the whole cost on that one and having a bunch of nails that you aren't going to do anything with. And I can definitely use them. So I would purchase those from you if that's okay. And outside of that, that's basically where everything is at. So that's what's going on. So that's why I need, the 2,000 of those 2 3/8, because again, I've already sunk in, 1,000. So right off the get go, about 1,100 of those written off of the 2,000. So you're left with 900, and the 900 should be plenty. And again, you always overestimate. You don't want to be short. So that's why, some of these numbers I throw in miscellaneous amounts, because you just never know. Sometimes you have a misfire, you shot the nail in the wrong area, or whatever. There's always, mishaps and stuff like that. So you plan for a little bit extra. So, but that's why I require the 2,000 of the 2 3/8, which again, those you haven't bought. I've been supplying all those myself right now, to just speed things up, to get things, and as far as the siding goes, I didn't. Yeah, the first one was free. I didn't, charge you for that one. And but on the second one, I figured, okay, well, because again, I thought the siding was going to be there, and the fact that I needed the siding, the fact that I went and got the first 5 pieces of siding should have been an indicator to let you know that, okay, he needs the siding. And so I was expecting it to be delivered when it wasn't. That held me. That has cost me a lot of time. So just an FYI, in the future, if anybody says, hey, they need this material, get them the material. It should have been with the order, with the original order, and so that, and I didn't know that, and I didn't check it. That was my bad. But if I would have said, hey, I need the siding, and because things are going to move pretty fast here, and that cost me a lot of time. So, anyways, the second trip that I did, I was going to ask you for at least $30. You know, seeing as how they would have charged you $69 to deliver the whole thing, you didn't pay the $69. You know, right now it's been zero, but I do need something for gas because it was, you know, quite a bit of fuel there. And then, yeah. So now that you have those facts, you can go and investigate and get back to me.